Hello, everybody. It is Mr. Bubbles here. Today, I wanted to make a fun video where I talk about 8 perks I want added to Dead by Daylight, 4 survivor perks, and 4 killer perks. Now, before getting into it, I just want to say that I'm not a game developer, and these perks would probably need some balance testing. I can't say these are for sure going to be balanced perks. At the end of the day, though, I'm just making this video for fun. But if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, as every little thing helps me out. Additionally, if you have any ideas to change these perks or have perk ideas of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And if you are subscribed, please don't forget to put that notification bell icon, click that, so you can figure out when I upload. All right, let's start off with survivor perks. So the first one I have for you is Shield Burst. After completing 50% progress on any generator, this perk activates. When having direct line of sight to a survivor and being within 10 meters, you can press the ability 1 button to give the survivor endurance for 5 seconds. This is a full altruism perk, right? Help a fellow survivor out in chase, give them an extra hit. But, obviously you've got to work on a generator for quite a bit before getting it. Similar to Flashbang. Flashbang can also be used for altruism, but it's also for yourself. However, this I feel like's a little more powerful. That's why um it's got like longer gen repair requirement, and also it doesn't help yourself out. I think it'd be fun, could create some interesting play, and yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. The next perk I have, new location. If the killer kicks a generator that you had been working on in the last 10 seconds, hide your scratch marks and gain 5% haste for 5 seconds. Additionally, gain 15% repair speed for 30 seconds. This perk's effects end early if you begin repairing the originally kicked generator. So, this is a perk to help you with relocating to a new generator after the one you had been working on has been kicked, been denied. You gotta move on. That one's not worth it anymore. I think it's kind of fun. Helps you get to a generator quicker, and on top of that, it helps you get that repair speed or that repair progress up for a bit. The reason I thought about ending the effects early, if you go back to the original gen, is just so you're not in like a 3 gen scenario, or there's generate multiple generators close to being completed, anything like that. I don't want a survivor to just wait for the killer to kick this and leave, and then be able to complete the generator faster for it. That seems unfair to me. Um, this perk should potentially have a cooldown to it. As of right now, I don't have one on there, but I could definitely see there being a reason to put a cooldown on this perk. Let me know. The next one I have is honorable sacrifice. When taking a protection hit that results in you being put into the dying state, automatically recover 50% and give the survivor you took a protection hit for 15% haste for 5 seconds. So, this is essentially the idea behind this perk is to switch who's going to be getting hooked. If you have someone who's on death hook, that would be a reason for you to go take that hit. Yes, you're going to be down for it, but that survivor is going to get a big speed boost to move out of there. Um, and on top of that, if the killer does end up just leaving you to go for that survivor, at least your recovery has already gone 50%. So the killer's punished for leaving you on the ground because you'll be picked up much quicker. Uh, there's other reasons you would want to switch who's getting hooked as well. Maybe you have deliverance and the person in chase doesn't, but so you can go in, take the hit, and take the hook because you can unhook yourself. I think it would be create some interesting plays. I think it'd be interesting. The final survivor perk I have is Boon Sacred Ground. While within 24 meters of the totem, killers have their aura revealed to all survivors. Now, this is essentially like a wiretap, but linked to a totem instead. Uh, I don't know if it would be better than wiretap. I mean, I guess obviously you don't have to repair a generator for it, you just have to bless a totem. But depending on your totem locations, it might not be as valuable, or it might be more valuable than having wiretap on generators. The range might need tweaking as well, but either way, I think it would be a fun perk, interesting perk, uh, and you know, doesn't hurt to have another boon perk in the game, I guess. All right, onto the killer perks. First one, dangerous sparks. While within 8 meters of a regressing generator, survivors are hindered by 9%. Now, this isn't a huge radius to a generator, right? You have to be kind of close to it in order to get this hindered, but 9% hindered is pretty big. Uh, Obviously, the counter is to either not be around the generator or stop the generator from regressing. Um, this could work pretty well with something like Ruin, uh, where as soon as the survivor's done touching that generator, it starts regressing. But I think it would just be a way to help deny survivors getting back on generators, or just a way to, punish survivors for running near these regressing generators. Interesting, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. My next one is Hex False Idol. Uh, this one is a interesting hex perk because instead of the game deciding where this hex goes, you decide where it goes. Uh, at any point in the game, you can walk up to a Dole totem and interact with it to place this hex onto that totem. When this hex is cleansed, all generators in the trial are instantly regressed by 30% of their total progression. I think this could be a interesting perk. We don't have anything quite like it because there's no other hex totem perks where you get to decide where they're placed, and it's a punishment for survivors cleansing this. If the survivor's aware, uh, they can kind of work around it. Like if they see you place it, they'll know not to cleanse that totem. Or if they walk by a totem that was dull and eventually and then later walk by it and it has a hex on it, it might be suspicion for them to think that this totem is the false idol. Uh, but it's could potentially be really game changing, especially if you use it when you know there's a lot of gens that are being worked on. Now, if they cleanse it when there's not a lot of gens being worked on, it's going to be pretty useless. But that's the risk with hex perks. The next one is I Made You. The first time a survivor begins repairing a generator in the trial, that generator gets blocked for 6 seconds. So this is similar to um, Dracula perk that blocks totems when survivors first interact with it. Uh, this just helps you. It doesn't delay the generator repair that much because it's only 6 seconds, but you as the killer will get notification or get an idea of what generators survivors will be repairing every time they go to them, as long as you're aware. So the first time any of the generators on the map get touched, it gets blocked. You can see that. So it's mostly uh, knowledge, I guess, rather than the actual delaying of generator because it's not such a big delay. Uh, I do see there could be some counters to this, right? If a survivor just goes around and starts touching every single generator on the map, that will trigger this on all the generators. So, therefore, at the very beginning, it's out of the way. But then that survivor is wasting time running around touching every generator at the beginning of the match. So, I don't know. Could be unique. And lastly, is festering wound. While a survivor is in deep wound, they are hindered by 3% and vault 3% slower. This is essentially a killer's version of Made for This, because Made for This, while they're in deep wound, they're hindered by 3% and they get endurance on uh, through Made for This. So, since obviously killers don't get endurance, that's why I added the vault speed as well. Give it two effects, just like Made for This has, but also just hinder instead of provide haste on deep. Now, this will help counter Made for This for sure, but it also will help some uh, slower killers. I feel because when killers or when the survivors are in deep wound, they'll be slightly easier to catch. Uh, I don't think this really matters on killers like Blight and Nurse because they don't really need the survivor to be slower. Uh, so I think this would be a nice additional perk for killers. It will help some of the lower tier killers try to keep up with survivors, especially killers like Legion or Death Slinger, who have ways of wounding survivors pretty easily. All right, that is all 8 of the perks I have for you today. Uh, Hope you enjoyed this video, a little different from my other ones. Just a fun, creative little video. Let me know what you think about this type of video, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.